Commissioner Hertzler,
Here.
Commissioner Eichelberger, Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
Is there any public comment to come before the salary board? Hearing none, item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of March the 2nd. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5 is the approval of the salary board actions. Is there a motion to approve those actions?
I'll make a motion to approve those salary board actions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business to come before the salary board? Hearing none, we're adjourned. We would stand adjourned and join by saying, I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call the Board of Commissioners meeting to the 2nd of March. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cross, Commissioner Hertzler.
Here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Is there any public comment to come before the Commissioners? Item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of February the 12th, 17th, 26th, and the 2nd of March of this year. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5, the approval of the personnel transactions. Is there a motion to approve those personnel transactions?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6 is the approval of resolution 2015-5 budget adjustments that were presented during the workshop last week. Is there a motion to approve that resolution?
So.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the resolution? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 7 is a proclamation and press release for proclaiming March as Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Mr. Barbaugh?
As Commissioner Liaison to the Board, Gary, if you would make that presentation.
How are you?
This is great.
Sir, your name?
Hi. Oh, wait, let's just see that. Okay, well, for March, which we're deep into now, we are given the opportunity here to proclaim Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And I will just read down through a little bit of this. The first time I've seen it, so sorry if I stumble over anything here. But it'll give you a good idea of what this is all about. Whereas intellectual and developmental disabilities are defined as disabilities characterized by significant limitations both in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior as expressed in conceptual, social, and practical adaptive skills, which originate before age 21. And people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are valued members of society for all racial, ethnic, educational, social, and economic backgrounds. They are our friends, neighbors, and coworkers, and I might add, often they are our family members as well. Who find fulfillment living everyday lives, whereas individuals with IDD should have opportunities that foster choice in everyday lives, meaningful personal relationships with family and friends, participation in their communities, and dignity and respect as valued citizens. And whereas early intervention, education, home and community-based services continue to be vital to enabling citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities to function and thrive. The Cumberland County Office of IDD provides services to empower and support individuals and their families in the community. Now, therefore, the Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes many of the many contributions and challenges of citizens with IDD and proclaims March of 2015 as Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in Cumberland County. We encourage all citizens to support the efforts and hard work of individuals with IDD and their families as they strive to live self-determined lives and realize their own personal aspirations. This is not always a high-profile issue in a lot that we do. So this is a nice opportunity for us as leaders of the community to try to bring some public attention to the many challenges this phase is for our communities and for our families, and for all of us. So we appreciate the opportunity. We appreciate you being here today. We're going to turn this over to you, and we'll just take a photograph here.
Got a picture? Step over a little bit.
Let me just talk a little bit about
Sure.
Cumberland, if
Sure.
I could. Last year, we opened a new program called the Pathways Academy, and Keandre was one of those students that went to the Pathways Academy. You've been there a year now, right? And he's almost done, aren't you? Yeah. He has learned to cook. He can make a mean hamburger helper and a skillet, right? That's a favorite, isn't it? And he is looking for an apartment now in Enola or Sommerdale. And a few more months, and Keandre will be out of his own apartment. He has a job at Goodwill, correct? Okay. So we are proud of Keandre, and he is going to be living on his own very soon, and that's been one of his dreams. And it's gonna come true, Keandre.
Oh, that's great.
Great work.
All right.
There's a couple of the staff here. No, wait, we need you
Okay,
now.
we're gonna get, do you guys want to come up for a picture? Come on. You're welcome. Sure. On either side, we can squeeze in. That's great.
1, 2, and 3, and one more.
Okay, thank you. Staff, any comments you want to add, or?
Well, I mean, just in the past year that Keandre's been in our case, he's grown significantly from knowing how to just microwave food to working the oven, stove, everything. He cleans the house independently. He's working and soon will be competitively employed.
Great.
So he's doing very well.
Yeah, we're really proud of all that Keandre's accomplished.
Oh, good. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks, Sue.
The next will remain up here for, and Megan can come up, please. March 23rd to 27th is Severe Weather Awareness Week, anticipating a statewide exercise on the 25th, and to bring residents sort of out of winter into all the severe weather is all year round, it seems to be, here anymore. But checking sort of those tree limbs that might have cracked under the weight of the snow and all, and have not fully sort of fallen. Gutters, a variety of things around the house, and just an awareness of when those alerts come over, to be cognizant of those and know where to call and what to do. So I will present you this proclamation to identify the week from the Board of Commissioners. And any comments you want on the week?
Just that you kind of hit on it, winter's over, but unfortunately in Pennsylvania, there's no point in time when we aren't subject to severe weather. So just reminding folks of those thunderstorms, the flooding. Pennsylvania is one of the most flood-prone states in the nation. So we're not done. So just to be prepared, especially this time of season with a lot of the troublesome thunderstorms that roll through, we see a lot of utility outages, so we like to ask folks to have the outage reporting numbers available. 911 is not the appropriate number to call when you lose power. So just to kind of be aware, be mindful, and educate yourself and be prepared.
And check our website for any updates, and certainly the media outlets that are here in the county and the region do a great job of giving that too. Great, thanks.
Thank you guys very much.
Item number 9, for the approval of the cooperation agreement between the county and the Cumberland County Industrial Development Authority. Jonathan is here in representation from AHAC.
Good afternoon. We were here once before, myself and Mike Perry from the Army Heritage Foundation, just to bring forth to the Board of Commissioners the cooperation agreement between the county and also the county's Industrial Development Authority, which basically was an agreement that acknowledged that if there was any wrongful use funds that AHEC received as a result of the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program grant through DCED, that the county, as kind of the last people there, would step up and would take care of any misappropriated funds. As a result of that conversation, that dialogue, county had requested that the IDA also sign a document that would state that if that did happen, that the Industrial Development Authority would support and guarantee any of those funds as well, in addition to AHEC. So we have gone back over the last month or so and worked with the attorneys and worked with Keith to present to you a new agreement that we think make sure that everyone involved is covered.
So the grant's been applied for. Have they received notification if they've been awarded the grant?
We received notification that we were awarded the grant. However, we have not received the actual grant agreement because this was a outstanding condition that we needed to be able to wrap up before we
And
did
the
that.
amount is?
And the amount is $2 million. So at this point, we've met all the other conditions to the grant requirement, other than this last stipulation that hopefully if one signed, we would be able to resubmit that to DCED, and then we would be getting the grant agreement hopefully here in the next couple of weeks. So part of our request today is to resubmit the agreements, and then also we would be looking for a decision to be made on that today as well.
Is there,
I'm going to ask the solicitor to weigh in here since he was the one who expressed the concerns. We have all the question and answers, so if you're
Yes.
satisfied that this adequately covers all the concerns.
I am. All the changes I've requested have been made. There are two agreements that you're approving. One's the cooperation agreement, the other one's the indemnification agreement.
and under one motion, under two?
I would do them under two motions, two separate motions.
The only question is, I don't think the indemnification agreement is spelled out as an agenda item. It
It's
only
not on the
mentions-
agenda. You're correct, and that's why I brought that up. There are two agreements.
So the motion-
Mr. Bowser indicated.
Okay.
So for that first motion, is there a motion for the approval of the cooperation agreement between the county and the IDA?
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the cooperation agreement? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there a motion on the indemnification agreement between the county, the IDA, and AHEC?
So moved.
second,
Is there any further discussion?
just one question on the general issue here. I think that some of the conversation before was, this is not the first RACP grant that we've been involved with, probably won't be the last one if we're fortunate. So what we're doing here is going to become a standard practice.
I think what you're doing here today has been, in fact, consistent with what you've done in the past,
Okay,
in terms of both cooperation and indemnification.
okay, great, thank you.
Another question?
Yeah, the other question, I did have an opportunity to look at the indemnification agreement. And so this would put, some of the responsibility on the Army Heritage Center Foundation as well, right? It's not just the authority,
Well,
it's also,
I'd have to check that. I've sort of reviewed this in a vacuum because the changes that I've asked dealt only with adding specific language to the indemnification.
I mean, I did have a chance to review it. It looked like essentially both the authority and the Army Heritage Center Foundation would be,
They do.
hold us harmless for any errors.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
And this is very similar, is it not, to the sub-recipient agreements that we've had, with the redevelopment authority too, when they've been essentially the administrators of these
Yes.
grants. Okay.
Any further discussion or any additional questions? There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Item 10 on the agenda are the contracts and grants. Thanks, Roger. A through M that have been presented and were reviewed during the workshop. Is there a motion to approve those contracts and submission of those grants?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on contracts and grants? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 11 is the approval of the county's 2014 consolidated annual performance and evaluation report that was presented during the workshop. Is there a motion for the approval of that report? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12 is the approval of reappointment and appointments to the Agricultural Extension Board that I presented during the workshop. The reappointments for 3-year terms are, I will so move for the reappointment for a 3-year term for James Kaplinger and Kay Knapp. They will then serve for 3 years through December of 17. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the appointments? Reappointments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next are a motion that I will make for the new appointments for Jean Spear, Jerry Ogline, and Lisa Nisley for 3-year terms, also to serve through December of 17. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 13 are the general disbursement transfer authorizations A through L presented during the workshop. Is there a motion for those general disbursement transfer authorizations?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 14, I'd like to report executive session held March the 12th of 2015 at 9:55 a.m. and on March the 16th of 2015 at 11 a.m. for personnel issues. Item number 15, I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the monthly reports from the Pathonetary, the Recorder of Deeds, the Clerk of Courts, Veterans Affairs, Register of Wills, February 15th, and the Board of Assessment for the months of January and February of 2015. Is there any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners?
If I may. There's a press release that we're going to issue here shortly. I'm happy to announce that as of about 35 minutes ago, we successfully launched the new website. It is up and running for folks to log on and use, whether it be your mobile device or a computer. So we hope that folks will go out and take a look at it. A lot of great new features on it, and we also uploaded a web tutorial that will help folks kind of navigate the new site and show them around a little bit. So, thank you.
Okay, so we'll make sure that the press receives that.
Thank you, Megan. Long time in the works here. We're glad that we have the new site up and running. Thank you
A
very
big
much.
thank you to IMTO
Well,
too.
Thanks to everybody
Yeah.
on the communications team.
A lot of hard work went into it. It's the same address as before. So it's still www.2cpa.net.
Is there any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners?
Madam Chair, I noticed that we received, maybe you know, I haven't had an opportunity to review it yet, but we got a letter from Monroe Township asking for a letter of support for a grant that they're seeking from DCNR grant to help fund upgrade to their playground area behind the township building, resurface the walking path, the Joe Carr recreational facilities, and install a connector and new walking path at land recently purchased next to the recreational facilities. If there's no objection, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize staff to prepare a letter to be signed by the Board of Commissioners in support of this grant request, unless you want to take some more time to look at
I haven't seen, I don't believe I just saw that letter.
it. Okay.
Did it come into everybody's? It did. Okay. Question I would have is, are they also part of the grants coming through planning and the impact fee? Do we know if they have done that? We don't know that.
In any event, they're asking for our support. My opinion, any municipality that is asking for our support to secure state funding. I would be, I couldn't see a situation where we would be opposed to it, but
Are you making a motion, Jim?
that's my motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we have staff then be directed to complete a letter of support signed by all three commissioners to back to Monroe to add to their package for any additional funds. I'd still like to know whether or not they're in competition with any other municipality for any of the impact fees that Stephanie might, be waiting for those applications. Any other business? None. Thank you so much. We're adjourned.